What do you think about Durant's comments about the draft combine?
Durant's a little prickly with the media from time to time, or at least in this case, you can see that he has felt slighted in the past, and it simmers under the surface, and at times comes out. I would say that he's largely right, though. Think about who went number one, Greg Oden, and why did he go number one? Because height and size, although Durant's very tall, is easier to project, and a lot of teams are risk averse. And who would be the correct number one pick there? Obviously Durant. Just give him the ball. On the other hand, Durant said about Brandon Ingram, the Lakers' number 2 overall pick, that he was like looking into a mirror at that age, something like that, that Brandon Ingram is just like him at the same age. And there were real concerns about Brandon Ingram's strength. And in fact, those concerns are legitimate. Brandon Ingram may turn out to be a great player, but looks like it's going to take several years of strength and conditioning before that's the case. So just because Durant could get out of the gate like gangbusters in spite of his lack of physical strength as a rookie doesn't mean everyone can, meaning maybe it is a good idea for teams to test those sorts of things and factor that into the equation. He's right, it shouldn't necessarily be the deciding factor, as it was maybe in his draft, where they obviously got it wrong. But yeah, it might not be a bad idea to measure the physical strength of players. It's not like that doesn't mean something in the NBA. It does.
But isn't like the 40 in the NFL Combine, it means close to not a lot. Isn't it similar?
There's a tipping point, though. If the 40 time is just awful, and it's a running back, he ain't going to be that. He can only be so good, because you need to be fast to play that position. And there was a tipping point, I think I brought up Brandon Ingram, where, if you are going to lack that level of physical strength on an NBA level, you better be Kevin Durant good. And you know how many guys have been Kevin Durant good in the history of American team sports? I don't know, a couple dozen or something like that. In the history of basketball on planet Earth, a handful, 10, 15, maybe. So he's right as it applies to him, but he'd be wrong as it applies to like the billions of other people who have lived on the earth, period. So yeah, they should change. So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't test. You should. I don't know how it goes on other planets. On this planet in the NBA, you need some kind of requisite degree of physical strength, unless you're Kevin Durant, who's one of the 3 best small forwards who ever lived.